Vietnam is a Southeast Asian country. In the past, Vietnam has been a part of Imperial China as well as being colonized by the French. Vietnamese and Chinese cuisine share many common dishes such as wonton soup. Additionally, Vietnamese culture has retained many cooking techniques that are characteristic of Chinese cuisine. However, Vietnamese cuisine tends to use less added oil and fat. As well as this, French influence is evident in Vietnam. Dishes such as banh mi incorporate traditional French baguettes and pâté with more traditional Vietnamese ingredients such as pickled vegetables. Banh mi is a very common street food in Vietnam. Signature ingredients in Vietnamese cooking include rice, fish sauce, sugar, and herbs. Vietnamese cuisine tends to be less spicy than other Asian cuisines, and lighter and more fragrant. Interestingly, Vietnamese ingredients in cooking are grouped into 5 categories: sweet, salty, bitter, sour, and spicy, and are paired in a manner that balances the meal accordingly. Ingredients are also grouped as to whether they are hot or cold foods, and are said to hold different medicinal properties depending on which category they belong to. As with many Asian countries, rice farming is a major agricultural practice in Vietnam. Rice is widely consumed and exported throughout Vietnam. Additionally, Vietnamese agriculture is focused on forestry and fishing. Key commodities differ significantly in Australia and Vietnam. Australia produces wheat as its main grain, where Vietnam produces rice. Beef is also more widely produced and consumed in Australia when compared with pork being the main livestock that is utilised in Vietnam. Vietnam comprises 6 major religions and is evidently very diverse in terms of belief and customs. There are a few festivals, however, that are common to the Vietnamese people, perhaps the largest being Lunar New Year or Tet Nguyen Dan. There are several staple dishes that are seen during this festival, including bánh chong, which is depicted here. Regional cuisine is very much influenced by the neighbouring regions aside from any other factors. That is, parts of Vietnam that border Cambodia have a closer resemblance to Cambodian cuisine than the areas that border China. Vietnamese migration to Australia was relatively uncommon until the 1970s. By 1981, however, there was a significant amount of Vietnamese migrants in Victoria alone. Today, there is still a large population of Vietnamese people in Australia. In Melbourne, areas such as Richmond and Springvale hold large Vietnamese communities and showcase Vietnamese culture and cuisine through restaurants, markets, and grocers, to name a few. Aside from this, many Australians choose to visit Vietnam due to its close proximity and gain exposure to traditional Vietnamese cuisine in this manner. As well as this, media attention on food has enabled consumers to learn more about Vietnamese culture, cuisine, and cooking.